Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Let's talk about the Sunday night flash crash, which just happened. And enough time has passed that there's been a bit of time to digest what has occurred. I'm going to share with you some interesting perspectives from all sorts of people in the world of crypto here. And I'll just say this. There have been all sorts of people complaining that, and I think unreasonably so, complaining that XRP has been somehow disproportionately hit to the negative compared to Bitcoin. That is literally not, it's not even reasonable. XRP, I'm going to show you again, and I'm not going to harp on this too much in this video, but I do want to point this out towards the beginning part of the video. It is just not true. Bitcoin took a hit, the rest of the market followed in kind. And I will show you in terms of percentage loss to this point in time, there's not that much of a difference if you just look at the top 50 coins by market cap. If anyone's curious, I'll note that I am recording this video at 4:38 a.m. Central Time, which is my time zone. I'm in the Midwest in the good old United States of America. And this crash happened about, I guess, a little over 8.5 hours ago. So like I said, there's been a little bit of time to digest here. Is it time to freak out? Yes, absolutely. Sell everything. I'm kidding. No, it's not time to freak out. But there is a reasonable question. Is this the sign of yet a bigger fall to the downside that's impending? Or was this just just a contained flash crash, and then we're just going to rocket on out of here? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about here. But before going any further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this video, XRP is at 63 cents. Bitcoin is at $42,514. Market cap for the asset class 1.59 trillion, and the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, I'm waiting for this to update. It doesn't do it for another 13 hours. It just updates once per every 24 hours. But it was at 74 out of 100. Pretty confident it's going to be a little bit lower. Now, of course, if things continue to move to the upside, maybe you could kind of prevent it from going too far into neutral. I'd be surprised if this leads all straight into fear. I mean, I guess it's possible, but take a look at this headline from the Daily Hodl here. Oh, no. I'm jumping ahead. I want to make sure I don't forget this. Let me just hammer this out right now, and then we're going to jump into the rest of the stuff here. This idea, because I saw this idea bandied about by so many people on social media platform X, that XRP, oh my God, it's XRP again. XRP, Bitcoin drops, XRP drops more. Some people were saying stuff like, XRP, or Bitcoin was pumping, XRP wasn't, and so not only did XRP not engage in a pump, but it did engage in just the fall. And I'm just like, my God, have you been looking at what's been happening with XRP? It just doesn't make a damn bit of sense. Like, first of all, it's not literally going to be moving up, down to the second, the minute, the day, the week, so on and so forth. But here's a 7-day Bitcoin chart for those of you looking. Here's a 7-day XRP chart. XRP has been moving up for most of the last week. It has been moving up. Bitcoin's mostly been moving sideways, actually, until this most recent fall. But if you look at what's been happening in terms of percentage decreases here, there actually are some outliers to the upside. Like, this is rare, but you can find coins that are up. In fact, Avalanche, AVAX, is up dramatically, up 13%. So when this stuff happens, it's not that uncommon to see some outliers, but almost everything on this page, this is the top 50 coins by market cap on that CoinWatch, almost everything's in the red. And how far down are some of these things? Well, here's a coin that's down 6.9%. Here you have another one down 5.66%. This one's down just shy of 4%. There's all sorts of others, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7%. It's all over the place. This is actually normal. Bitcoin happens to be down almost 3%. Bitcoin, and then XRP is down just over 4%. We're splitting hairs here, folks. XRP is fine. It's moving in tandem with the rest of the market. This isn't weird. Can we stop it with the BS nonsense narratives that don't make sense? Okay. I think a lot of it is, I get it. It's just people are emotionally hit. And I guess I just need to continue to remind myself that although I don't feel emotions because our emotions are stupid, so I just don't have them. Others do. Others do have emotions. And I just mean it when it applies to trading. We're all human. But I get it. I used to get scared about price action too. But I think it really is just the impatience, and people really do get scared when there's a violent price move like this. It does hit people, and then you can see it in the posts on social media. But I'm telling you, it doesn't make logical sense to let emotions hit you in such a way that you're then letting it flow through your fingers onto the keyboard and onto the Webernets. That just doesn't make sense to me. Because it doesn't make logical sense. Like this, the fact that this happened is not an indication that XRP is going to zero or that it's going to an all-time high. It just shows that XRP is moving in tandem with the rest of the market. Do you think the crypto pie gets bigger or smaller as time passes? I say way bigger, to the tune of trillions and trillions and then tens of trillions of dollars. That's my bet. So no, I don't give a damn about this in the short term. But look at this headline from the Daily Huddle. Crypto witnesses over $400 million in liquidations as Bitcoin corrects to $40,000. The crypto markets are witnessing a massive surge in liquidations amid Bitcoin's correction down to a key psychological level. The latest data from the crypto data aggregator CoinGlass shows that 119,302 traders were liquidated in the last 24 hours to the tune of $409.8 million. Folks, if you're playing with leverage, you're playing with fire, you're going to get burnt. How about maybe don't do that? But anyway, the piece continues. In the past day, Bitcoin dropped to a low of around $40,300 on crypto exchanges Binance and Coinbase. Bitcoin has slightly bounced since posting the 24-hour low and is trading at $42,300 at time of writing. Traders who were long on Bitcoin suffered the brunt of the corrective move, witnessing losses of more than $90.9 million over the same period. And so what's going on here? Well, funny enough, there's actually this post shared, the timing of this is great. Scott Melker, known as the Wolf of Wall Streets on X, 922,000 followers, one of the most well-known guys in all of crypto. He shared this Bitcoin USD price chart, and he wrote the following. And I'll note that this was at 7:06 p.m. The crash for Bitcoin started at 7:55 p.m. So this is, this is 46 minutes, or I'm sorry, I did that backwards, 44 minutes before the crash. 44 minutes before the crash. 7:06 p.m. again, started at 7:55 p.m. Central Time, and it went for 20 minutes until 8:15 p.m. Central Time. So here's what he said 44 minutes before this thing started. Bitcoin just closed its 8th green weekly candle in a row. This week's candle was a monster. Win correction, sir. It's just like, and so it's just an understood thing, and this is why it doesn't make sense to be fearful, but there's a lot of fear out there in social media. I get it. It's just humans being humans. But he's recognizing, he's been here for a hot minute, he gets it. It doesn't go up in a straight line forever. Eventually, there's a correction. This is a correction. And it's just so funny, the timing of it, though. Like, literally, he posts it, and then 44 minutes later, it starts. You gotta love that, man. Then there's this post from Santiment. Crypto has experienced its fastest drop in 4 months as markets have corrected and caused mild trader concerns. I'll just pause and say, from some people have mild concerns, but then if you're talking about not just traders, but typical retail speculators, it's not mild concerns. It's tremendous concerns. It's completely ridiculous. And this is being reported again by Santiment, which does fantastic on-chain analytics work. And then they wrote, there is a high level of buy the dip calls, which typically means that there is a bit of over-eagerness and FOMO on these low prices. Here we have perspective from chart analyst Credible Crypto. Now, I've got 3 posts from him. The first one was actually at 7:21 p.m. Central Time, which means that this was also before the crash. So this would have been 34 minutes before the crash started. And this is just a Bitcoin USD chart. Credible Crypto wrote the following. Can't rule out something like this at the moment. May have mislabeled this last impulse earlier. Means 2 things primarily. Number 1, bit of a deeper dip right now. Still no sub $40,000 in my opinion. So he's talking about Bitcoin, of course. And number 2, once the next impulse starts, we aren't going to stop at $50,000. It likely takes us to $60,000 plus. So there you go. It's just the timing. It's remarkable, isn't it? 34 minutes before this, he goes, yeah, actually, it looks like we're probably going to have a bit of a deeper correction. So he squiggled what he thought that might, in theory, look like. That's all he's doing here. Not that it would literally pan out exactly like this, or the timeline necessarily. But the bottom of it, he's sharing, I guess it would have been the upper 41,000s. It ends up getting a bit lower than that. But he's sharing a concept here. That's what he's doing. And it's just so funny, like in such short order, we got this thing. And he thinks that as a result of that, should that occur, that move to the downside, that he's that much more confident that when this thing corrects back on up to the upside, No, 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 50,000. That's not what we're talking about anymore. He's now thinking $60,000 plus for Bitcoin, and you can imagine what that means for altcoins. And that's not that far off from a new all-time high for Bitcoin either. I mean, you're talking a $60,000. You need about 10 grand. Then there's also this post. Now, this is at 8:16 p.m., 1 minute after the bottom of the crash. Credible Crypto posted this. Pretty aggressive flush, but open interest wiped back to baseline, sub $40,000 not met. Pretty sure that was it. Now, V reverse it back. And so he's speaking in terms of probability. It doesn't mean that it can't go lower, but again, we're 8.5 hours past when this thing happened. He's like, yeah, that's pretty much it. And at least to this point, it has been. Like that was it, and we moved up a bit and moving sideways, and maybe it takes a hot minute to get out of here, but probably not that long given the nature of things right now. And then there was also this. Credible Crypto posted, for the first time in a long time, notable spot market buying here while perps are relatively flat. So he's talking about futures here. Perp premium also completely wiped out. Looks like spot takers are taking advantage of the dip and aggressively slurping up the discounts. So he's talking about Bitcoin here. So so on spot exchanges, activity happening here. And the level of 40,000, that is an important psychological level, and it held. It actually did hold. So we'll see what happens. I don't pretend to know what's going to happen. You know, I don't make price predictions. I'm not the chart guy. I just find it as fascinating as you, which is why I love tracking all this stuff and making YouTube videos about it. But doesn't that say something? Like after that dramatic move, the most dramatic, as sentiment stated, in 4 months, the quickest, and then it's just like, nah, we're going to stay above 40,000. There's this post from TXMC. He used to work at on-chain analytics firm Glassnode. And he wrote, Bitcoin sharp flush maintained last week's low at $40,000, but rinsed up much, all the open interest built up since then. A structure intact so far. Bunch of alts took 10 to 15% haircuts, but a couple actually went higher. A nice little reset at a key level. And I'll note that was at 9:37 p.m. So you're talking about less than an hour and a half after the drop happened or completed. I mean, I'm talking about the bottom, of course, when I say completed, or at least what to this moment is the bottom, right? Again, it's been 8.5 hours, though. I mean, and then there was this from on-chain analyst Will Clemente. He shared this with his 696,000 followers on X. Bitcoin just doubled in 2 months with no pullbacks. A correction is not that surprising. Corrections shake out weak hands and leverage, allowing for a stronger foundation for eventual moves higher. Bitcoin's volatility is a feature, not a bug. Chill with the leverage. And I like that last part. That's some sage wisdom. Yeah, maybe chill out with the leverage. It isn't like in an asset class where it's commonplace to have life-changing wealth like be bestowed upon you with your investments and just have multiple thousands of percent returns on multiple assets, where this has been the norm for 15 years. There are still some people that are so greedy that that's not enough for them. We got to leverage the hell out of this thing so that if things don't go well for them, in short order, they can just be liquidated. What? I cannot relate to that. I cannot relate to that. It just seems like a most ridiculous idea. Here's our XRP community member Frecky, been in crypto since 2011 and actually works in traditional finance. And he shared something which is absolutely correct. He wrote, heads up to those that are new to crypto. During bull markets, we can get many large drawdowns in the middle as we move up. If I remember correctly, in 2017's bull, we had 7 or so 30% plus minus pullbacks. Dollar cost average when read. Yeah, and I think that's actually spot on. In terms of the number of corrections that were at least 30% down, I was thinking that the number was 7 also. So I didn't go back technically and double checking before recording the video, but the concept getting that across is more important. But I actually do think the number is probably correct. There were a lot of those, and it didn't mean that everything was over, but it makes people feel like that, right? And yes, eventually one of those dips means it was the final one, because eventually that was the high for the cycle. But you should expect a lot of these on the way to the top. Then there was this from chart analyst E. Greg Crypto talking about XRP. This is an XRP USD chart. XRP color code to $1.40 update. The recent flash crash swiftly cleared out a significant number of long positions showing the unpredictable nature of this space. It's a stark reminder that leveraging these trades can lead to devastating losses. Yes, that would be sage wisdom there for sure. XRP Army, stay steady. Our trajectory towards $1.40 remains unchanged despite the market turbulence. And this is what I see from most analysts. I check tons of perspective from tons of analysts, and this is pretty much what most are saying, really. I mean, there are some that think that things are actually going to get worse, and so I wanted to share that because it seems like at this point it's basically a contrarian viewpoint, frankly. Here's Income Sharks, a very popular analyst with 457,000 followers on X. And again, it's harder to find these types of perspectives, but I want to have something balanced here. And so he thinks that, it might be going even lower. He says, I don't think this is the dip you want to chase. We should see sub $40,000 soon. That's when we'll see the panic and selling start. Then it'll be time to start buying again. Well, okay, I don't know if he's right. I don't know who's right, who's wrong. But that's why I love my strategy, which is to buy stuff and then just do literally nothing, and then I don't have to worry about it. But, I mean, so far we're seeing strength with Bitcoin staying above $40,000. So we'll find out together what happens here. But either way, whatever you think is most probable, I can tell you this, it does not make sense to be fearful in this moment in time. I don't see it. We are in bull mode, and pullbacks of tremendous magnitude are normal. And this is nowhere near one of the biggest ones I've seen in a bull market. I've seen way bigger ones than this in a bull market. Just take it for what it's worth. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because if anything I say are right, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.